We got too much news to even do an intro today.
Fake
Right,
news.
right into the news,
We got
guys.
too much news. All
News
right.
never sleeps. That's
This
why
is
it's 4 a.m.
yeah. People tune in specifically for one reason and one reason only. And you know what reason that is?
YouTube drama.
No. Although that's a close second. Gentlemen,
Oh,
the NFL season has started.
oh,
Can we all get can I round of applause, please, for NFL coming back in? Um, Great season.
boo!
All right. Stop
Boo!
that. Um,
Boo!
I have to say though, the
Where's
first
John
game.
Madden?
Yeah, where is John Madden? I miss him commentating on stuff. He's a great commentator just because he's so goofy.
Goof.
Um, yeah, but make sure you have no Ravens in your fantasy football team.
Mm-hmm.
The first three starting running backs for the Ravens have all torn ACLs in practice, and their
Holy
starting
shit.
corner in back-to-back plays in practice, their starting running back tore his ACL, and then their like star starting cornerback tore his ACL on like back-to-back plays. So don't have any Ravens in your fantasy league, because they'll probably get injured. They're like last year's Niners, because the Niners, like almost their entire starting squad was injured. So, um, I do kid though. I'm not going to talk about football. Um, that
I
was
have a
a
lot of
tangent.
I have a lot
That
of
was
things to talk about.
a tangent. Well, we're not going to let you talk about any of them.
Okay, that sounds about right.
No, there was something real quick that I wanted to bring up that I saw last night, and I bet you that this might be one of the things Logan would like to discuss. New Matrix, new
Mm-hmm.
Matrix film.
Matrix 4.
Um,
I already knew about this, like
I, I,
beforehand.
I saw the weird thing. I watched the trailer for it.
Yeah,
Um,
they just released the trailer, but I already
and
knew that they were making a
that
new one.
was happening, yeah. But I saw the trailer for it. Um, it doesn't look like the Matrix at all, like visually. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and again, it's just a trailer, but you kind of expect like the like green like cyber text on you, like, you know what I mean, just
Yeah,
like the kind
yeah.
of weirdo, like that's what made the first film so iconic, is that it had such a distinct style. I just didn't
Mm-hmm.
get that from this new trailer. It's cool that Keanu Reeves though is getting in every project he can, because
Yeah,
I
he's
like
trying to
Keanu
make
Reeves.
more money.
Yeah, but I like Keanu Reeves. I think he's always a good thing when he's in a film, I think.
Yes.
But, gentlemen, your thoughts on the Matrix trilogy and why it's the greatest films ever?
Well, I'm gonna jump into this one here, boys.
Yeah.
Number one, yeah, all right, cool. Number two, okay, not as good, but still not bad.
Oh,
Number three, holy shit, what the fuck happened?
yeah. Yeah.
It just significantly gets worse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched all three of them, I think, in the last year, and I don't remember two or three like at all. Like
Yeah.
I
All I
remember I
remember,
remember a little bit, but like hardly anything.
literally, all I remember about two is that one scene where they're on the truck fighting.
Oh, yeah.
And
The
then
highway
the
chase
third
scene.
one, all I remember is like the ending when they're all in the giant like mecha suits,
Uh,
Oh,
uh,
yeah. Oh,
and then like the whole like last battle like on the yeah. So
yeah, I remember the robots
yeah, that's
fighting them.
about
I remember
all I
that.
remember.
yeah. That's
Uh,
those. It's so weird that I'm not a big fan of that franchise, really. I do like the first one, but I think I like the first one only for its like style and its like
yeah,
pop culture influence. I don't think it's a very good film.
Yeah,
Um, Personally, just because it's so corny, like so
it is. It
cheesy.
is.
it really is though.
But it's cool. They're all in the leather and they're like running around and we gotta hack the
Yeah,
cybernetics, and yeah, it's like it's got to be one of the
it's
most.
kind of aware, I think, of the fact that it's really corny.
Yeah, but it's got to have some of the most like quotable or like relevant pop culture like scenes and one-liners and stuff in that film. So I got to give
That's
credit
true,
where
yeah.
it's due because it's like that film was certainly you could certainly tell the influence of that film because it's like everywhere. But
Yeah.
man, 2 and 3 are just terrible. They're just so awful. And I think it might be an issue with the directors, the Wishnowskis. No dig on them, but the other films that they've done outside of the Matrix series have been very bad. At least the ones I've seen, like Jupiter Ascending. Oh my God,
Have you ever
that's
seen Bound, Sean?
I have not seen that.
Have you seen what was the other ones they made? I think Cloud Atlas, right?
Are you talking about Bound 2?
No, it's like some movie from the 90s.
No, I have not
It made that before The Matrix.
I haven't seen Bound. I have seen Cloud Atlas, and Cloud Atlas is like 850 years long.
Yeah, I've heard it's super long. I haven't seen
Um,
that one.
yeah, good performance by Tom Hanks though in that. But um, yeah, but I mean outside of the Matrix, they haven't really done much. I do want to mention
Speed
too.
Racer.
Oh fuck!
Oh
I
my
forgot all
god.
about Speed
I
Racer.
didn't know that. I didn't know that they directed that
That's so
movie.
weird.
I just looked it up.
I thought Eli Roth did Speed Racer, or is he in it?
I don't know.
Like I could have sworn, I thought Eli Roth was the one who directed. Oh, maybe I'm just like completely off. I could have sworn he was in there, but I don't see him. So, oh well. I do want to mention though the first Matrix. It has some great like scenes. Like one of the most famous scenes, right, is when they're in that like security check room and they're shooting up all the pillars and like it's all crumbling and stuff. I have to mention there are the Wishnowskis for Matrix are very, very, very heavily inspired by 1995's Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
To the point where there are certain scenes, and quite a few of them, that are directly like shot for shot remakes of scenes from Ghost in the Shell. Um, and I have to say, Ghost in the Shell is such a better movie, in like every way. But I do find it interesting that I guess it's because you could just copy like something like a Japanese obscure thing from the 90s and nobody's going to call you out for
True.
copying because it's like nobody in the West knows about that. But I do find it interesting that a lot of like what makes the Matrix, the first one, great is that it is like
Stolen, bro.
using
All good things are stolen.
yeah, I mean, but I would say stolen, but like repurposed and used in a new light. That's like completely acceptable. But like blatantly shot for shot remade,
Yeah.
and then not like I mean, I know in like behind the scenes and stuff, they definitely credit Ghost in the Shell, but like to not be more, I guess, more public about I don't know. I don't know. It's a gray area,
But it
but
was also like that's like a different time. You got to think of it like
it's
nowadays. There's
true.
all these laws that like even if you take like the littlest of thing, like you have
Yeah.
to tell
Yeah,
somebody.
copyright
Especially
laws
in
Dude,
like
mean a lot,
the
Sean.
whole
I
like music industry. It's
yeah.
really bad in there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the avalanches since I
Mm.
left you could not be made today.
I
Because
know.
I know Logan, you don't know because it's one of Andrew's favorite albums, but it's an album that's consisting of like what 6,000 samples. It's like
Something
literally
crazy like that.
only
Yeah, like
samples, but
they
it's
they would never be able to do that
no,
nowadays.
they couldn't. Yeah, can
And
you
like
imagine? Like
I was watching some video. I don't remember who was saying it. Oh, it was Adam Levine. I don't know where I was watching this from, but it
Adam
was some
Levine
like
fan club.
um, but it was like he was talking about how like music nowadays is most of it is just like samples or like heavily inspired by, and like everybody throws a giant fit about it. Oh, it was
Yeah,
because of oh, who was it? I think it was like Olivia Rodrigo and then somebody else that's even more popular.
yeah.
Got like called out for like stealing something.
I
Anyways,
Hmm.
I sampling those such an important and like great part of music. It just has to be
I
done.
know.
It just has to be
Correctly.
done
Yeah.
not lazily. Like you talk about, like we just talked about the avalanches. You could not even remotely tell like what's sampled in that because they just
Yeah.
it's so seamless, and they take samples and then well, I guess that's not you can tell that boy needs therapy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I knew exactly what movie that was from, but that's just weird because it's from a John Waters movie. But um,
Well, I think
yeah,
from
so
movies is a completely different thing than like other artists like sounds and
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
beats and stuff.
I wish I do wish though that it's like you can be inspired by Ghost in the Shell. This is just using that same example, but you could be super inspired by Ghost in the Shell and like incorporate a lot of like the themes or like the way scenes are shot, but
Mm-hmm.
to literally go like shot for shot. Um,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
unless you're purposely doing a remake, to go shot for shot is kind of goofy. I don't want to take away from The Matrix though, because there's a lot of that movie that is very original. That is what's so like interesting about it.
Yeah, it's not like the
And
concept is exactly the same as
no, I'm
Ghost in
just
the
talking
Shell
about
or
like
anything.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about like certain scenes and like
Yeah. The aesthetic.
the one scene that's super uh, popular that it is copied is those like pillars. It's like blowing up all the pillars.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, there's tons in the movie that are like genuinely. I even though I'm not a huge fan of the film, just based on like a story perspective or like dialogue is not great in those movies. uh, There are lots of really interesting stuff. You always got to remember like Mr. Anderson and all that kind of
Yeah.
like great stuff
Mr.
because
Anderson.
it's really well like I don't know. It does feel super forward thinking with like
Mm-hmm.
style and aesthetics. So
I think my favorite thing about The Matrix actually is the concept of it.
yeah,
Um, I just think it's super interesting. And I feel like maybe they didn't even really do enough with it. And I feel like the action kind of bogs some of that down, like the interesting philosophical implications
yeah.
of something like that, you know?
I
But
think
it's not, I guess it's not trying to be deep, but
yeah.
um,
I do like the yeah, it's like they start talking about like a really interesting philosophical point, and then it's like, sorry, really have to have a kung fu fight real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so weird. Um, yeah, and then the second and third one, not only do they get bogged down with how
it
long, I
they
think the
just get
third one's like,
worse and worse. Dude,
I
the
think
last one is so bad.
yeah, the third one is like 2.5 hours or
Yeah.
something. It
Yeah.
does
easy.
not need to be 2.5 hours. It needs to be like an hour 30. Like max, like 90 minutes in and out, finish this story and let's get out of here. But I don't know. When you make I think when like filmmakers decide to make a trilogy, the movies get longer and longer and we have to know the backstory of every, like that's the thing that a lot of people complained about with The Hobbit, right? Is that it just because it needed to feel like an epic, it
Oh
stretched
yeah,
a
they
small story into like three massive movies.
and I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that
and
together they're even longer than the like Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
they
trilogy,
are.
which makes
Yeah.
no sense
Which is
considering how
yeah,
much shorter the book is.
which is
Well, you
crazy because the
know
Lord of
that
Rings trilogy is literally infinite in time. You
yeah.
Yeah.
can literally start the film, have like a full life, and die, and the movies are not over yet. They're just so
Yeah.
long.
Well, you know if they were to remake those movies today, they would have done it in like 16 different films.
I know. I know. I, I've talked about this before, but I just uh those movies are fine. They're whatever. They're just too long. God damn. They're so long. I guess it was my fault because I watched the Turbo Director's edition.
Turbo
Yeah.
Uh,
directors
I
this
cut.
is
think if
how
you're not,
Peter.
if you're not, super into Lord of the Rings, I don't think you should start off with those, you know?
Yeah, this is how Peter Jackson makes his film. Very long.
Now watch an
Um,
even longer
What are
cut.
his other movies? I know, didn't he
he,
direct King Kong and that one
yeah,
from the
well,
2000s?
he did the I'm gonna just rather than Naomi Watts, I'm just gonna call it the Jack Black King Kong. That's the only reason
Okay.
you're watching it anymore. But yeah, he did do that King Kong again, way too long, way, way too long of a film. No need. no need to be that long. I don't understand why he made a King Kong movie that's like 16 hours. Um, I think more though than some of that. He did oh, what was that really shitty like young adult novel movie that he did?
Oh, he
Oh,
did a.
The Lovely Bones.
Oh.
He directed a movie called The Lovely Bones, which is
Oh.
like a young adult novel that he did.
Oh,
Although it's got Stanley Tucci in it. And if you got Stanley Tucci in your
Oh.
movie, I'm all about it. Although I think in in The Lovely Bones, Stanley Tucci plays like a serial rapist, so
Jesus.
it's not, you know, I want Stanley Tucci to be like action hero. I don't No,
Transformers Stanley Tucci.
that's not really his typecast. But yeah, I am always about a film with Stanley Tucci in it. Are you kidding me? He literally Stanley Tucci is the only reason that anybody would watch Transformers 4. Just because he's like
That's
chewing the
like the only
scenery.
reason why you did.
Yeah, he's like chewing the scenery and he's having a blast. You can tell he's like having fun with like a stupid movie. It's like that's you got to be doing that.
Wait, what's fun?
I don't know. I'll have to ask Stanley Tucci.
Okay. Call him up.
Um,
Bring him on. Bring him on. Bring him on right now.
yeah, bring him on. Let's get him on the podcast. He also did. I forgot. He did a Peter Jackson did a documentary called "They Shall Not Grow Old," which is a actual like color corrected World War I documentary with like
Oh
real footage.
yeah. I
That's
forgot he did that.
yeah, that's like incredible. It's super well made.
Wait, The
And
Incredibles?
it is. He did. Oh yeah, he was also the voice of Edna Moe in The Incredibles. A little fun fact there. That's not true.
Well,
But
it could be.
I also okay. We have discussed some of this a bit. There is an elephant in the room. A big uh black album cover elephant in the room.
Oh, the Legends of Arceus trailer that they dropped?
Yeah, Legend of Arceus
Yeah.
trailer. So good. Looking
What do you
forward
guys
to
think
that.
of that?
I love how it looks like a game that came out on the PS2. Um, is that not the answer you were expecting, Logan?
No, that's like your go-to thing is the game.
It doesn't.
Like,
It doesn't
but
look.
the PS2 had really good games, Sean. So is
It
that
did
like
have great games.
is that a backhanded compliment? Like
It did have great games, and it also did have great games that looked actually great for
Yeah,
being a PS2 graphic.
like Crash
I always,
Bandicoot.
well, yeah, that's fair. But I was gonna say, and you'll make fun of me because I bring this up, but SMT3 that came out on PS2.
Oh,
That game looks
yeah.
amazing. That game is just, oh, oh, it's a masterpiece game right there. Can we talk about, and we should start with Andrew because we bull rushed right over his opening topic,
Yeah,
which I
fuck you,
assume was gonna
Andrew.
be Donda anyways.
Wait, whoa!
Um,
We weren't supposed to tell them.
Damn, it's gonna
Yeah,
be
Sean, you're not
Yandi.
good. You're not very good at edging.
I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah, come on. You need to edge harder.
We're gonna talk about uh a
Donda,
certain album,
Donda,
and we're gonna
Donda,
slowly
Donda.
Donda. It's my favorite song on the album.
Donda. No.
Okay,
Your
Andrew,
favorite
can
song is
you?
what? Tell them nothing or whatever.
Oh God, bum bum bum
Bum,
bum
bum,
bum 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 bum. Andrew, tell us why somehow Donda is actually a good album.
Okay, hear me out. Hear me out, guys. Okay.
Snooze.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
It's way too long. Um, and I didn't really like anything. Well, maybe a little bit, but I didn't really like much about it the first time I listened to it. To be fair, I listened to it in the car when I was driving, and so I couldn't really pick up on any of the details of the songs, I guess. Um, it's super inconsistent, though. I mean, I've re-listened to it, I think, what, two or three more times. Um, Also, I don't know why he included all those part twos at the end. I don't know if you guys saw that.
It's like
I did,
the
I
same
listened.
They're not
song.
even really part twos. They're just remixes because they're
Yeah.
or just different like mixes
Yeah,
where they'll
different
have
get.
different
Yeah.
features. Um, so I think they're just bonus tracks, but still they extend the album quite a bit. Um, but I yeah on like on more re-listens, a lot more of the songs stand out, especially like those first couple of songs, like the first 5 songs, not including the Donda chant,
Donda,
which
Donda,
uh, well,
Donda.
I actually learned that
Donda.
that chant is supposed to be to the beat of his mom's heartbeat as she was like dying
Oh,
in the hospital,
Fuck.
which is like kind of sad, but like also like a little bit touching, honestly.
super metal.
Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, it doesn't sound good though, if I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
it's not a great way to open up your long-awaited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, those I like the first couple of songs, and then like here and there, there's some songs that I like. Um, Pretty easily, my favorite song is "Believe What I Say," which
Oh,
has an
really?
incredible Lauryn Hill sample. I think it's the best use of like it's Kanye's best use of a sample in a long time. Um, and honestly, I think it's his best song since probably Ghost Town, um, back from 2018 on Yay. Uh, but yeah, the other songs that I really like are Off the Grid because it's like the rapping is pretty good on it. Although Kanye does the thing that he always does, where he just has a great song and then there's like one really terrible standout lyric,
Oh,
which
how about
at
we
the end
like?
of the song he says Adam could never be black because a black man could never share his rib.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say we're the best pair since KFC and Taco Bell. That's a standout one.
Does he have that?
He genuinely has that on. Let me
That's a
see.
lyric.
Yeah.
What song? Do you
Uh,
know what song that's on? I'm
I'm looking
curious.
up.
I don't remember it.
He also what was the other? Oh, I am the Globgo Glabgo Lab. The
Oh,
Schwabble Double. What is he thinking, dude?
yeah, he
I
sampled that meme. Isn't that fucking weird?
yeah. I
That's like one of the weirdest things on a Kanye album, I think, and that's really saying something. Um, the other songs I liked were Hurricane with The Weeknd.
Yeah.
I think the features are all really good. And some like honestly, they kind of blow Kanye out of the water a little bit, unfortunately. Um, I I feel like a lot of people didn't care for Jail with Jay-Z, but I really like that one.
That was the
Um,
first one, right?
yeah, that was the song that opened
I
it.
kind of
Yeah,
liked that, even though it was like different. Like I kind of
yeah,
liked it.
I liked it how simple the beat was. It was just that like blown out guitar.
Yeah.
Um, and then I liked Moon with Kid
Yeah.
Cudi.
I like
I
I
do
thought that
Moon.
like
was like
Moon.
a very sweet song.
Only because
Um,
Kid Cudi was in it.
yeah, I don't even know if Kanye was on the vocals on that song.
Doesn't matter.
But yeah, anyway,
Kid Cudi carries.
I guess overall though for Donda, like I said, it's super inconsistent. But I think the highs really carry the album. I think I like the production, even though it's pretty simple for Kanye. But I think that's kind of what he was going for, was that kind of like simple, airy sound. And at first, it's like to me, the songs all sounded the same or just very similar.
Yeah. Oh my
But
God,
upon
yeah.
re-listen, like I said, there's some more standouts. Um, so I'd say it's just barely a good album. Like it scrapes by on those highs. And I would say it's still probably his second worst since, or besides Jesus is King. I also thought I figured he was gonna, touch on religious themes again. But I liked that he was a little bit less overt with it. I mean, there are quite a
I
few
do.
songs that are literally like have God or Jesus in the title,
I
right?
do.
But
I do want to talk about that and in comparison to Jesus is King because Jesus is King felt like a temper tantrum that was using like the religious angle as an excuse to like brainwash his fan or not brainwash but like trick his fans into thinking, oh, this is a gospel album, so you can't criticize me.
yeah,
Um, Donda genuinely feels I'm more genuine
oh
about,
yeah, no,
you know
in
what I
like
mean? And
spirituality,
yeah, and
and
so I give it at least some points. Also, Andrew, the song is Lord, I Need You. It's the best collab. Oh, hang on. Um,
oh, Jesus Lord was another song I liked. I
would
remembered
you
the
too many
J
I'll,
Electronica version.
I'm gonna read this lyric.
Okay.
Too many complaints made it hard for me to think. Would you shut up? I can't hear myself drink. We used to do the freak like 7 days a week. It's the best collab since Taco Bell and KFC.
Oh God.
Terrible. We clown on Chance the Rapper for having awful lyrics. I don't know why Kanye
Makes
gets
the
a pass.
matter.
I don't know why Kanye gets a pass. He also has a Buzz Lightyear lyric
I
in his
do remember
song.
that
Oh
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just terrible. What I have to say is that Kanye, well, okay, I'm gonna sound like really like snarky. I don't mean to sound so condescending. If people
I think
enjoyed
you
this
do.
album, that's awesome. Because really, it's certainly an improvement from Jesus is
Jesus
King. Because
King,
Jesus is King, I just think is terrible. Um, but Kanye almost single-handedly ruins every track he's on, and he's on all of them. Like he's just terrible on this album. He's just awful. The mixing and mastering is really suspect on almost every track. There are tons of cuts on here. Or like Andrew, like you said, all of the part twos, get him out of here. Songs like which Logan and I were making fun of, "Tell Me the or "Tell the Vision,"
yeah.
Oh
bum
God.
bum
Yeah.
bum, which is so bad. It is so bad. It's not just bad because of the piano, bum bum bum, but it is literally a track where you can hear the old track that Kanye and whoever was producing for him took the lyrics from, but they didn't just take like the lyric track. They took the whole song, the WAV file or whatever, and then they tried to like quiet out the music part, but you can still hear it. You can still hear it crackling in the background. So just awful. Um and there's a lot of like super suspect moments on this album that I was just like, how does Kanye have literally every major incredible producer who's bending over backwards and going to Mercedes-Benz dome to help him do this? How does this not sound better? Like he literally's got Mike Dean doing tons of work on this. Like I ugh. But
This has been a problem for Kanye for a while now with
yeah.
like the mixing of his albums.
Well, and also too, like we just talked about, you talked about Ghost Town, and I like that song a lot. But Kanye ruins, or not ruins, but Kanye is the weakest part of that song. Because in the very beginning of it, uh, he's just like mumbling. He's not even. It sounds like the demo track that you put on to eventually replace with actual lyrics. And there's a tons of songs on this album that sound like that, where it sounds like the demo part, where he needs to like replace it with like his actual rapping or singing. Because he
Yeah, like
actually
a different
sings, and
take.
I have to say, he actually sings, and he probably the best singing he's done on an album.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's actually good at. I do want to say too, I'm being very overly critical because I really didn't enjoy this album very much.
I can
But
tell, Sean.
but I do. There are songs I genuinely like. I really back to back. There was Moon and then Heaven and Hell. Love
Yeah.
those songs. Those are great, especially Heaven and Hell. That sounds like something off of Kids See Ghosts. Just sounds great. And I like Moon because Kid Cudi's on it. And Don Tolliver is really good on Moon too, which is
Yeah.
weird 'cause
Yeah.
it's Don Tolliver. Um, Hurricane is the only track that I noticed that was a carryover from Yandhi, the failed
Yeah.
project. I like the Yandhi version better. The Yandhi version is a lot more like fun and summery, where this is like goes full, you know,
It sounds like
gospel.
a weekend song, kind of.
Yeah,
It kind of just sounds
but
like a weekend song to
it
me.
it is a highlight though, I would
Yeah,
say.
it's a
Um,
good song.
but there's just like you said too, so much of this album just sounds the same. It just
Yeah.
is like it all blends. Kanye must have had like he's looking at the samples he has left for a new album, and like 70% of them are like gospel, and he's like,
Yeah.
okay, gotta use all my gospel
I
samples
do think
for
the
this album.
gospel stuff works way better though here than on Jesus is King.
Yeah, well, and that's the point I was trying to make earlier is that compared to Jesus is King, this actually feels a lot more spiritual, at least. Like, it doesn't feel like such a sham. It doesn't feel like, because Jesus is King feels like those mega church uh, pastors, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it doesn't
Which,
feel
which,
genuine, yeah.
which for legitimately, when Kanye released Jesus is King, he actually appeared on a mega church pastor like show, and he
Yeah.
actually appeared and did that with him. So it was 100% fucking false and like fake. And at least this doesn't feel as fake. Feels a little more genuine, but still, Yeah, I agree with you when you say that it is his second worst album. Like Jesus is King's still the worst, but this is just I don't know, man. I don't know. I was listening to this like what was it, a day or two after it came out, and then I listened to it again. What was that, like a few days ago? Um, and I don't know, man. It sucks because there are ideas on here that I really like, and there's tracks that I don't like very much that have a good idea that just isn't I don't know done anything with, or they don't flesh out enough for my taste, and I don't know, man.
Well,
I don't know, man.
Sean,
I think Kanye is just crazy.
if I could rudely interrupt you
No,
and
no, you can't.
guide us to a better album that has come out.
Drake's.
Oh.
No, we're not talking about Drake's actually. I don't know if you guys heard or not, but Imagine Dragons came out with a new album.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
We're just getting worse and worse here, man.
No, you guys
They
actually
did.
listened
Although
to it?
I was curious if either of you guys listened to any of the new Drake as well.
I have not. Oh
Yeah,
no, that's not
I haven't
true.
had time.
There's an NFL commercial that they played like 850 times, and it's No Friends in the Industry, and I think that's off his new album.
Oh yeah, it is.
And it just sounds like the most generic, boring Drake music. Drake's the
And- and-
perfect Drake's like the perfect artist to quietly play on a speaker in the background at a party.
Yep.
Like just
Yeah.
completely Drake is literally just like eating a tortilla by itself. It's just bland.
That's
You know what I
so-
mean?
If
that's
you're
so funny,
hungry,
Sean.
it works.
Yeah, but it's just bland. It's just like
Yeah.
I only am
Well,
doing this for nutrients and not for the pleasure of eating. You know what I mean? It's just
And
like
the thing about Drake, so obviously a lot of people are talking about the Kanye and Drake beef because it's part of the context of these albums, right? Like Kanye wanted to release Donda just to fuck with Drake, right? On his release date, but he ended up dropping it early. Um, but if you notice, like Kanye didn't really say anything about it on his album, but Drake
yeah,
talks about it
a
quite a
lot.
bit on
Yeah.
his. Yeah,
I've heard about he
and
talks
I
about
thought that was kind of funny. But I think the difference between Kanye and Drake, like, sure, I know Sean, you don't like Donda, but I
Oh
feel like
no,
you should at least appreciate that it doesn't sound like any of his other albums.
I was
Whereas
gonna say
this Drake sounds like this could have been released like 5 years ago.
I'm glad you bring up that point because you're 100% correct. I will take low tier Kanye over the best of Drake any day, because at least low tier Kanye is somewhat creative.
Yeah.
Is interesting. Like I didn't like Donda very much, but at least it's like yeah, like you just said, this is unique and interesting in some aspect. I think it's interesting because of how inconsistent it is often.
Yeah.
But damn, at least it has something. At least it has some kind of flavor, some
Mhm.
kind of spice. And I looking at Kanye's discography, it's certainly there's a lot of uniqueness and there's a lot of like how do I explain? Like each album is kind of its own time capsule in a way or genre capsule where it has like a really unique sound and idea. So yeah, no, as much as I was just ripping on Donda, um, I think it's like a 2 to 2.5 out of 10 for me. It's still like all right. Like I don't hate it like I did Jesus is King. But um, yeah, it beats Drake's uh, bland, incredibly uninteresting, boring, like ugh ugh. Drake's is not a great not enjoying his music. I haven't listened to the new album, right? But I have listened to quite a few Drake stuff, or quite a few of Drake's stuff, in the past, and don't understand the appeal. I've listened to the songs that like people say, "Oh, this is like you got to listen to this if you want real Drake," and it still sounds the same. So I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like everybody always said, if you're reading this, it's too late. That's the real Drake stuff, all right? That's where he goes off. And I
I
listen to it,
mean,
and it
it's
sounds
certainly
like
better than his other stuff,
it
but
really
it's
sounds
not.
like everything else. It's like,
Yeah,
um, so yeah, like I'm glad you brought up that point because yeah, Donda, I'll take Donda any day of over any day of the week over boring, bland Drake, whatever he's doing. I'll take Tell Me the Vision any day.
really, you'd actually take. I don't know if I would.
No, no, that
Prefer-
track does not need to be on here. And I think like
yeah,
that's a good point when you brought up about Donda chant because I know a lot of people are memeing on it, me included. Um, if that's the case and it is like the heartbeat to the form, what would have been helpful is maybe like he did this on late registration, so I don't know why he can't do it now, but have like hospital sound effects very faintly, you know, like the beeping of a machine
oh yeah, because he did
or
that on Roses,
yeah,
right?
and so like yeah, and so why not kind of
Well,
make the atmosphere a bit better and
what
have
I would have done if I was him, right? And I'm no music artist, as you can tell, but like start with the heartbeat and then fade it into the Donda chant.
yeah, and then you can end with Donda when they when it goes flat. Um, no, but I think if you gave because like the only way you found that out, Andrew, is like looking into it after the fact. So on the
Yeah, I think I
album,
read it on Twitter.
yeah, so on the album, if he gave the audience some sort of clue as to what that was actually supposed to be, I think that would have been nobody would be memeing on it because then that's actually super touching, given that this album is supposed to be for his mom. Which that's can I bring up another point while we're on the Donda talk? I figured this album was going to be a lot more like personal than ended up being. Like it doesn't feel
Yeah,
super like touching. Like we just talked about Roses, which is I think his most like touching song that he's ever made. But um, late registration feels a lot more. Obviously, not certain songs. You're not gonna have Gold Digger as your touching whatever. But there
I
are a
don't
lot of
know.
tracks. There are a lot of tracks on like late registration and even some of his other stuff that uh, I think I don't
we
know.
got a big late registration fan here.
Yeah, yeah. I do
No,
have to
it's great.
say,
It's a fantastic album.
I do have to say one thing that after listening to Donda twice, I really, really, really have grown to appreciate Yeezus a lot more. Um,
Yes,
Yeezus
Sean, you're
is
coming around.
I did enjoy Yeezus. I always thought it was like a good album, but I'm
Yeah.
really starting to like, like damn, that was a good ass album. Like in comparison
Well,
to
because it's got a lot of like crazy shit on it, but it sounds good. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like the production is like on point. The mixing is on point.
Yeah, and it has such a crazy, crazy atmosphere and like aesthetic.
And it
Everything is
has
just wild.
one of the best things that any album can have, which is brevity.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not super crazy long. Um, but yeah, there's some great songs on even like the songs I meme, like I Am a God, featuring God. That's always a funny thing to talk about when he does these religious albums. Um, but even
Yeah.
going back to that, I still think like it has a fat beat and it's like it's kind of cool. And I think he kind of I don't know he really and I don't like 808 and Heartbreak very much.
Tell
Um,
Kyle that.
yeah, I know. He always brings that up when we're talking about Kanye. Um, but at least like that was a pioneering sound, you know? It's a sound I
Yeah.
still don't like very much. When other people like are inspired by that, like other artists, and they make tracks that sound like it. I still don't like it very much because I don't like that sound, but it is influential. And I think Yeezus is going to be looked back to be super influential for like crazy industrial kind of not just hip hop, but like I don't know, more mainstream music that sounds a lot more like I don't know, like Yeezus just sounds crazy, and I just
Yeah.
like it. I like how wacky it is. Um,
It's a middle finger to the music industry too. And I feel like
Yeah.
Kanye's kind of been on that wave of saying fuck you to the music industry for a while just because of his like you know non-traditional release schedules, which is a
yeah,
nice way of putting it. But also like his album covers, like, you know, the Yeezus was kind of the first where he did that, but you know he had the plain crystal CD cover,
Yeah,
and then the Life of Pablo is just like a mess of an album cover.
yeah,
Yay is just a picture he took in Wyoming, and then Jesus is King is the vinyl record,
yeah. And
and
then
then
Donda.
Donda is just black.
It's such a shame too, because we talked about this before, but the original album cover for Donda is
Yeah,
so good.
it's
It's so
awesome. It would
good.
have been his best album cover by a
By
country mile,
far, yeah, by far.
unless you were including Kids See Ghosts, but
Yeah,
Your kids
but
that goes
they
to sugar.
that man, that original Donda album cover was so like so good. It looks so awesome.
yeah, I
Um,
even would have preferred the other cover too,
yeah,
the
rather
one
than
where that was like or it was red and gray.
yeah. Um,
But
but yeah, that has been we our Kanye talk has commenced. Um,
okay,
no, but we can still talk about it. I was just we've been talking about Kanye for a while, and I know Logan
yeah,
probably
About
has some other
20
things he'd
minutes.
like to share, but
Um, I do. I do have some stuff.
yeah.
I know
So
we're not very.
football, Kanye is coming coming to football season actually. Logan, you can talk about your stuff later. Um, more about football season actually. Logan.
It's now later. Can I talk?
You can.
No, I know. I know we're not very political here, but so I'm not. I'm just gonna say what happened and not give any suggestions or anything. But China released a law. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, about limiting video game time to, I believe it's 3 hours a weekend, as in that there's only 1 hour on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that kids can play online video games.
Oh,
I
I have
believe
not
that
heard about
is
this.
the a correct statement. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on it, but it's something similar
it's
to
something
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Um, and I think they've gotten some game companies on board for at least on the multiplayer side to shut down servers when it's not during that time. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, kind of
Um,
totalitarian is a good
yeah,
or totalitarian.
and I just wanted to bring that up because it's technically considered video game news.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
It is.
Other
Um,
than that, they're making a new Marvel game. Nothing cool like that, but yeah.
isn't it Wolverine?
I think so, yeah.
It's is it by the same? Is it? I should be nicer to Crystal Dynamics because they did the Tomb Raider games, which we love. But um,
Well, you love.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
we love.
Ouch. We love. All right. Shout out the Tomb Raider. But
Yeah, but
the
Tomb
reboot,
Raider? Yeah.
the reboot and Rise. Oh, Rise of the Tomb Raider. That's a
Rise of the Tomb Raider
scrumptious
is
game.
one of the best games.
Yeah.
It is the best Tomb Raider game to come out by
Oh
far.
yeah. Oh, not
But
even
it's
close.
one
Yeah,
of the
it's
best type of those games. Like
yeah,
it's up there
it's
with the
so
Uncharted
good.
level.
I was gonna say, I was just about to say that. Yeah, it's so good that it's like on Uncharted 2 level. And
Yeah.
Uncharted
Oof.
2, as somebody
That's
who
just
had not like even known
delicious.
anything about it and
I
who had
told
played
you,
it
Sean.
last year, those games are good, man. Those games are good. I was pretty blown away by how good those Uncharted games are. But Uncharted 2 got to be one of the best action games like ever. And
Mhm.
Rise of the Tomb Raider, man, it's up there. It's up
Yeah,
there with that.
for sure, for sure.
Um,
Take our advice, Andrew, and play Rise of the Tomb Raider.
yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Well, you should also play the first Tomb Raider, the reboot, because that's also a great game. Um, and then you could skip Shadow. skip,
Yeah.
skip that one. Not the greatest. Um, but Crystal Dynamics did the Avengers game, right? The one that kind of super turbo flopped.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Oh, that came out.
Yeah, it came out like
I didn't
last
even
year.
realize
like
it.
May.
Yeah, I didn't realize it came out. If I'm being honest with you.
No, it
No,
came
it
out.
came out
Initial
last
release
November,
date
right?
August 14th, 2020. It's been out for
Yeah.
a year,
Yeah. It was
and it flopped.
a lot of people said it just wasn't up to par of like gameplay style. It was kind of like it didn't feel like you were an Avenger. It felt like you were a person.
Yeah.
And then you became like super strong, and then that was it. There
Well,
was no like, yeah.
you could tell it flopped, because when you Google it, the first top stories, the first thing that comes up is just an article that says Marvel's Avengers needs to be put out of its misery. So you tell it's probably not very popular.
It's
Um,
it flopped.
yeah, but it was Crystal Dynamics that did that. Um,
Yes.
so I wonder if it's gonna be Dynamics who does Wolverine game.
Maybe. I do
But
know
didn't
on a different topic. I don't know if this is the case for like Marvel games, but I know like the EA branch got like all the like the Lucasfilm games, right? But I
yeah
think they're starting to like shoot them out to I know Respawn, but that's part of EA technically, I think,
yeah
right?
yeah yeah
Yeah. And I believe Ubisoft as well got
no
licensed to one. I'm not
no
sure.
no not
But yeah,
Ubisoft.
I think they might have just like the whole license for it. So, but that's just a theory. It's a
Yeah.
game
A
theory.
game theory.
Oh, now we can get back to our Five Nights at Freddy's talk.
Yeah.
Um,
So, what you guys think of the latest FNAF?
theories. Personally, I think FNAF 8, 7. I don't know how many have come out. 7,
16, 69.
16. Yeah, FNAF 69. Don't Google that. You'll get stuff you don't want to see. Um, the I just don't give any more.
What's the rule about Googling FNAF? Is it FNAF Rule 34?
Yeah, well, Rule 34 is just anything. It's just porn. If you can
No,
draw it, then Rule
Sean, I was
34.
making a joke.
Oh, what?
Haha, get it? Andrew wants you to look up.
Yeah, Andrew's gonna look. Yeah, I know what Andrew's gonna be doing.
What?
Podcast finishes.
Da Vinci?
Don't give any more games to Ubisoft, please. Please. Okay, they did Siege, but that was like an accident. Yeah, because that game when it first came out is terrible, and then
Yeah,
they
now
kind of
they've had
fixed it
5 or 6 years to try to
fix
fix it.
it. Yeah, and there's still issues with it, but at least it's kind of fun.
It's fun to me.
But everything else Ubisoft does is like, at least now. I mean, I think honestly, and there might be a game that like I forgot about that proves me wrong, but
Assassin's
Far
Creed 2.
yeah, Assassin's Creed 2, my favorite video game. I think honestly, the last good Ubisoft game was Far Cry 3.
Isn't Far Cry 3 free right now?
It is, yeah, on the Ubisoft Connect.
Yeah, you're welcome. Scoop up your game.
Yeah, scoop up your game and make sure to scoop up your Epic Game Store deals.
And drop a follow and scoop up your podcast merch because we
Yeah.
haven't linked our merch. So if you made it all the way here,
Yeah, get the
you
merch.
might as well.
Get the merch, Kyle.
Kyle,
The
buy
only
more
person
merch,
who's
Kyle.
the only person who's made it all the way here.
Buy more merch.
Um, but didn't you were talking about the PlayStation stuff? Didn't they announce the new God of War?
They
And-
did. God of War Ragnarok. It's going to be the last one.
Seriously, the very last one?
I don't know if it'll be the last one or the last one in the new series. And
Ah.
I was doing air quotes for everybody because I realized that you can't see me.
Yeah, not yet.
Not
That'll be
yet.
the new feature that'll come.
In God of War
Um,
Ragnarok. It's just me
It's just you playing the game.
holding my bachelor's degree.
What's the other one? Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man.
I saw something about Sony acquiring a new game company, but I didn't do my research. So
I can let you know. It was actually Microsoft. Sony now owns Microsoft Corporation.
Wow. What a
Yeah.
surprising turn of events.
Yeah, that's what
Fake news.
that's what I said. They just couldn't
Dude,
beat Game Pass, so they
imagine
just
though.
bought it.
Imagine
Could you imagine? Yeah, that would not.
Sony
I think,
buying out Microsoft on top of the Bethesda deal or the Triarch, but
yeah, but
that's
that
crazy.
to be honest, I think that would probably be that would be a bad thing. I think for the gaming industry because you
For
need
the
competition.
industry, yes.
Yeah, you need competition.
then-
and-
Because, I mean, like, look at Nintendo, right? Nintendo doesn't have
It's
any
none.
competition, which is
Yeah.
insane.
And they can just charge $60 after 4 years for
And
games.
my ass
that-
will still buy it. That's
I
the
know,
problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
My ass will only buy it if I get peer pressured into buying
Don't worry, Sean. My will is strong enough for the both of us.
Yeah. No, I did I did get Pokemon just because I wanted to. It was nice.
But Sean,
Can't believe looking back I spent that much money on it, but
the real question is, Sean,
yeah.
will you be buying the Sinnoh remakes?
No. I know. Drama in the podcast.
Sean doesn't
Drama
want to pay
alert.
$60
$60
for
for a remake of a
another
game I love.
Pokemon game that was only worth $40.
Yeah, it was only worth $40 when it first came out. No, I
These
won't just because
upscales.
I probably won't be buying very much stuff given that I will be still crossing my fingers again, but I have received a date
True.
for when I will be moving. So
True.
I imagine I won't be playing as many like sitting down and playing single player stuff. Still play some multiplayer with the boys. Still play some multiplayer. But I won't get to like sink hundreds of hours or whatever into a
So
game.
you're not a loser, is what you're trying to tell us.
Not anymore. Not anymore. It's I'm leaving my loser phase. All right.
You're
I'm not gonna like
evolving.
I'm not gonna like Kanye
Okay,
anymore.
Beck.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like Kanye anymore. That's how you know for sure I've left my loser phase is because I don't enjoy Kanye anymore.
Yeah, of course. As one typically does.
Yeah. What else does Andrew like? You know I'm not a loser because I don't like the Avalanches anymore.
Yeah.
Damn.
Uh-huh.
Still like Radiohead though.
Oh, Radiohead came out with a new song.
What?
Yeah. You didn't see this?
No.
I think it came out last night.
Was it that Kid A era outtake song? Was it like the B-side from Kid A?
Might have been Amnesiac, man.
Was it from Amnesiac? But either way,
I think so.
it would have been a
Oh
bit
no, you know what?
It's-
It is.
if you
no,
say
it is from Kid.
The
Yeah.
word. Yes.
Oh, well, I guess they're
Kid.
from the same album session.
Yeah, they were
Anyway.
from the same. That's so crazy to me that like two fantastic albums came out of the same session. Like they had so much good stuff that they were able to make two albums out of it.
Yeah, but Amnesiac sucks. So
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
and,
kidding. No, I think Amnesiac's still a good album, but I guess it is kind of surprising how much better Kid A is.
Oh yeah, well Kid A, well obviously you could tell like why they picked Kid A to be like
Yeah.
the main drop, but there are still some freaking bangers
Yeah,
on
man. Pyramid Song, one of
Amnesiac.
their best songs.
Pyramid Song. I love Knives Out.
Knives Out, yeah.
That's such a great song.
like
Man.
the movie?
Yeah, like the movie. Actually, little known fact, the movie was inspired by the song. Little known fact.
True.
Mm.
That's a rap fact.
I hope I'm proven wrong, right? Because I'd love to hear more music from them. I don't think they're gonna ever have another album, to be honest.
Just ever.
No, I don't think they will, honestly, because it looks like all of the new stuff, or like I use "new" in quotations, but like any of the stuff that's been in Radiohead's name in the last since Moonshaped Pool came out, has been just Tom York doing like his thing, and hasn't really been the band. And Tom York's done his own albums and stuff, and like
Mhm.
music projects. So I don't know. I think that Moonshaped Pool
Sean,
might have been
I
the
think
last.
there's hope for you because a lot of people are starting to remake music, especially because they're getting all cooped up again.
That's true, yeah.
Like
And I mean, it
ABBA.
could have been.
ABBA made
it's
a new
been-
song.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I
Like,
heard.
40
about-
years later. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Who did?
ABBA.
Oh.
Yeah. Clearly,
Oh.
Andrew's not a dancing queen, but
Yeah, he is not.
ABBA underrated band. I like ABBA. Got some
I
catchy
don't know if I would
songs.
say underrated.
I guess
pretty
they're yeah. I
accurate.
guess they're properly rated.
They're good though.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I enjoy ABBA. One of my favorite hair metal bands of all time, ABBA. What was I gonna? I was just about to.
You're about to
speak
recommend
on-
your recommendation, Sean? Is that what you were going to do?
No, I was actually going to talk more about the NFL season.
Oh,
It's
is-
very
My
important that we
recommendation is
discuss
to
this.
never watch football.
No.
Unless
how dare
John
you.
Madden comes back, we don't
Yeah,
watch
John
football.
Madden will come back.
Boycott the NFL until John Madden comes back.
Yeah, we
Yep.
want John.
We the people at the Meteorology Podcast will start this riot.
Yeah, I will boycott
Peaceful riot,
I,
though.
I'm gonna boycott football until John Madden speaks out against EA and their terrible Madden NFL product. How dare
Just
they use his name in vain?
how about all of the EA product for any sports game?
Yeah, it's
Can
true.
we shoot for
But
that?
Madden's the only one I care about, so.
Okay, that's fine.
Isn't the NBA still 2K though?
Yes, 2K still owns
Yeah.
basketball.
Yeah, man, I just can't believe. I can believe it, but I just wish EA was not making the exact same games and then putting on a different sticker like on the box,
Whoa, whoa,
and
whoa!
then
But
like
those
Wishful
stickers,
thinking, Sean.
man.
yeah, the only thing they update is the rosters, like
Which
some
they
of the UI
can literally update
on
with
the
an
old game.
update.
Yeah, they could just update it on the old game, so whatever. Whatever.
It's not like I made video games before.
Yeah, no skin off of my
Yeah, bro. Skins
croissant.
get wins.
Yeah, no skin off of my KFC thigh. All right, because that's the best combo since Taco Bell and KFC. Isn't it also KFC and A&W?
Yeah.
It's not
We
KFC and
talked about
Taco
this.
Bell?
No, I've seen KFC, Taco Bell
Huh?
things because they're owned by the
Kanye's crazy.
same. They're owned by the same company, I think.
Yeah. But Kanye's just crazy. All right. I think Kanye needs help. And he needs people. Kanye needs somebody in the studio who will be like, "No, Kanye, actually, this doesn't sound very good.
You know what, Sean?
You shouldn't do
Yeah,
this."
he needs to stop having. He needs to stop having yes men around him.
Yeah.
He's like
He
he's
needs
like George Lucas with the prequels right now.
Yeah.
no. He needs the Meteorology podcast to step
He does. He
in and
does.
tell
I
him no.
will volunteer
Because
for
we
this.
will.
Yeah.
Because we give you the news you need.
Andrew, I hate to say this, but I think you'd be really very disappointed to meet Kanye in real life. They always say don't meet like your
Yeah,
heroes,
don't meet your
you know what I mean?
heroes.
And
Yeah.
I just have
Kanye is not one of my heroes though.
no, I know, but
He's
it's
his
the same kind
idol.
of thing. Like a celebrity that you really enjoy, like the music, an artist or whatever. They're probably like kind of dickheads, and especially Kanye.
Oh,
but
definitely.
even
Whoa,
any of
whoa,
them
whoa.
really.
Are you talking shit about my boy Ludwig over here, buddy?
Ludwig's probably an asshole though, for
I
real.
think
Like he's probably like a huge dickhead.
I've heard some of the stories he says about like what people say in public, and it's hella funny.
Yeah, I could imagine
Because he's like normal, and then the minute you like go up to him, he goes into like streamer mode. And
Yeah.
I mean, if you ever watch his streams, he can be an asshole.
yeah. That's why don't meet any of us. All right, there's my recommendation. Don't meet us because
We're
you don't
gonna
want to
be
meet
like,
your
Please,
heroes.
do not,
Who
if
the
you
fuck
see us
are
in
you?
public, please do not talk to us.
Yeah, don't meet your heroes.
Including you,
Unless-
Kyle.
Unless
Yeah,
you bought it on our merch,
Yeah.
and you're wearing that merch, and you ask for
Uh-huh.
a picture, that is okay.
I will sign a titty. I will. I'll do that.
But not
Jesus.
Kyle's titty.
Not Kyle's titty, but I will sign a titty. No, Kyle can vouch, all right? He's met his heroes in us, and he knows that we're really secret assholes, all of us. So,
Well, I'm not.
Besides
I
Yeah,
don't
Andrew.
think
it's a big secret that we've just
I
let
don't-
out.
think I'm a secret asshole. I think I'm just normally an asshole.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm very outspokenly an asshole, so I don't think it's secret for us.
All
But
right, Sean, shut up, Andrew. Do your recommendation.
I recommend Borat.
Bro.
excuse me,
That's it.
excuse me, the man. You recommend the man, Borat?
Yeah, I recommend him.
Are you recommending the Amazon movie?
No, I'm recommending the first one.
Oh,
So I've seen clips from both the movies,
All right,
but
nobody
I
cares.
never watched either one. But I recently watched both of them, and I like both of them. But I think the first one was a little bit more surreal, you know.
yeah. The first one shows some parts of American culture that I'd like to forget that exists, but it does.
Well,
it does a
it's
great
interesting
job.
because he meets like some of the like nicest people,
Oh yeah,
and then like some of the just most horrifying
awful.
people in
Like
this country.
yeah, crazy. Yeah, and I don't know. It's a great movie to show that like just because lots of issues don't necessarily affect you personally, they still exist. Like it doesn't
Yeah,
just go away because I don't see it in my life. But it's like no, it's still there, man. I think
and I
he was
think
super ahead of his time. That movie came out in
well, I was just gonna
2006.
say like it reminded me. I see now where like Eric Andre gets his stuff. I see
Yeah,
where like if you guys have ever watched Nathan for You, it reminded me
yeah,
of that. But I think I think he kind of takes it maybe even a step above Eric Andre because Eric Andre is hilarious, right? But
yeah.
it's mostly just like surreal shit that he does, and it doesn't last very long. Borat will like it has like an edge to it where it's not not like I don't mean edge as in edgy. I just mean it's like it has almost not really a political bend, but do you know what I mean? Where
It's
it kind
incredibly
of says something about the people.
yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
also like incredibly like confrontational in aspects
Yeah,
where like he really he's doing that character, right? So he's not like saying shit to necessary. Not like quite out in the open where he's trying to like provoke people, but he is heavily prodding like a lot of the
yeah,
people through his character, and yeah, some of the stuff that it's like it's funny, right? And this character being like doing all that stuff is funny. It's a fun watch, but yeah, it's almost more of like it's a mockumentary, really, but it almost becomes more of like a genuine documentary
yeah,
in certain aspects
yeah.
where
It actually
you
has like something to say. Yeah,
yeah, where it's like it certain aspects about like different parts of the American culture and identity that show themselves in both good and bad. And yeah, it has that edge, like you're talking about, that kind of potency that I think is pretty impressive for a Borat movie.
yeah. No, I wasn't expecting that honestly, so I
Yeah.
was pleasantly surprised by that.
Logan.
And also there's quite a bit that's just really funny in it.
Yeah. Logan, would you like to share your topic?
My recommendation is a little indie game.
What?
Um, and
Minecraft.
no, it's not Minecraft. No, it's not Slime Ranchers. No, it's not Stardew Valley. It
Was
is
it, can
Neon
it even be good?
Abyss.
It can't even be good if it's not any of the first three. I'm sorry.
Anyways, it's Neon Abyss. Do you guys actually know what that game is, or should I explain it?
I do not.
No.
Okay, so it's like a little like 2D platformer shooter game, right? Um, I'm trying to think of a game that is kind of like it. Um,
Oh,
what
it's
the?
Stardew
Tick
Valley.
Wars.
I don't really know. I mean, I know. I just can't think. Anyways, you have like you go in right, and you're supposed to like go after like so many levels, right, and then defeat a boss, and then continue, and then you can get like upgrades for defeating bosses, kind of thing. It's roguelike style, but
Yeah.
you can pick up items that give you stuff. Like there's like helmets and like items that gives you movement, increased weapon speed, things like that, and then you can pick up different types of weapons that shoot differently, right?
Yeah.
And then you just basically kill a bunch of these monsters, and then rinse and repeat until you beat the game. So
Is
it's
it
a little
like
fun little indie game.
Enter the Gungeon?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, actually, yeah,
No,
but instead of like that isometric style, it's like straight up 2D.
2D. Huh. Oh,
So
so it's like
yeah, but yeah,
Contra.
it's like yeah, that was the game I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna
so
say it looks kind of like, well, I mean, different art style and stuff, but it does
yeah,
kind of look a little bit like Contra.
yeah. So I don't know, it's pretty fun. It's free on Game Pass if you have
Oh
Game
my
Pass and you want
God.
to play it. Shoot your shot.
Nice
But yeah,
shot.
I mean,
I'm gonna
don't get
shoot my
shot.
shot. I'm gonna shoot my shot right now.
You're gonna shoot your shit, bro.
I recommend the NFL season on CBS All Access, sponsored
All
by
access
Peacock,
pass.
which is NBC. Um, can I recommend this is a weird
No,
recommendation
you
from
can't.
all right, that's the podcast, everybody. Good night.
No,
Oh, you gonna let me do it, or are we
I'm
gonna
gonna
end?
let you do it, Sean.
What? Okay. I'm gonna recommend a game that I've been playing a decent amount, a little bit. I haven't got to play like anything this week because it's just yeah,
You hate
paperwork
us.
for yeah, that's the reason. But I've had lots of paperwork for certain family issues and also my movingness. So
We get it,
I've been
Sean.
busy. But
You
when
domestically
I
beat me, and you're trying to get away with it. Okay,
I
we
am
get it.
trying to, yeah. Well, it's only I'll get away with it as long as the court doesn't find out. Um,
Well, you better hope they're not fans.
yeah, but I've been playing with Wyatt. I've been playing Minecraft again just for like the hell of it.
Whoa, no
Um,
invite, bro.
we did. We have specifically invited you, and you
Yeah.
said, I'm
When?
playing Pokemon
It
Unite,
was
so I don't want to play.
one time, and I didn't even
Well,
get an invite. You were just
whose fault
joined
is
our
that?
Discord.
Whose fault is that? Well, yeah, it is true. But Kyle joined our Discord first, so
Yeah.
no. You can play. We have this big ass house. You can,
I
and we have
don't
an
know when you
aquarium.
play, so just text
I
me.
don't know either. Wyatt's doing school stuff, so it's all Wyatt's fault, is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say.
All right. If you
But
intern.
I do want to recommend, even though it's like such a boring basic recommendation, but God, I forget how much I enjoy that game. Like I used to when I was playing it like a lot a few years ago. I was more interested in like the exploration aspect of like going out and seeing different like I don't know, sites and places and things and like expanding. But right now I'm like I love like the design aspect of it and like building stuff and like going crazy on that. I just forget how fun and like inventive that game is, man.
So you actually are you doing Minecraft?
I actually am, yeah, enjoy that game genuinely. And I've been playing
Wow.
it with Wyatt, so I love that game. Go for all the people who gave up on that game or whatever because oh, it's a baby kid
Well,
game.
didn't they come out with the caves update, or is that
Yeah,
not
they
come
did.
out yet?
It's caves and
Ooh.
mountains, and so now like mountains are crazy and all the terrain
Okay.
is cool again, and there's
Okay.
just so much cool stuff in that game that and it is the video game version of Legos where you can just make anything and do whatever, and it's all up to you. I love that. I think that's so cool. So I'm recommending it. Go back and play those games. You can also play Logan's recommendation. And
Mhm.
ignore Andrew's because nobody wants to watch Borat, Andrew. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Uh,
All right.
Podcast is over. Good night.